you guys today. Just a little bit about me. I've been in the business since '92, so it's going on 29 years now. So it's I'm like an old, washed up veteran now, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, right? Been doing this a long time. Sold over 5,000 homes as a team, and this past year our production was about 284 units at 125 million. And I service basically in a secondary resort market in the Jersey Shore down in South Jersey. So most of what we do is resort, second home, vacation type of production. However, we do work the mainland side where the primary home market as well. Basically what I'm here to just share with you guys today is I think it's kind of appropriate is that just talk about 10 ways we can jumpstart our production for 2021, and really get us fired up and make sure we're on track, so we know what we need to be doing right away just to get in production. Because this time of year, right now, what's today? Today's what, the 14th, right? Just about now, the world's starting to wake up after putting away their Christmas, decorations and turning the lights off and just kind of getting back, I think, in the focus of back to work, right? A lot of us started this for us, that was January 1, January 2, but like the world itself is starting this, okay, everything's done, and now I can start getting back to normal and start making some, typical decisions. So I think you're all going to see your production right now really start to ramp up, within the next couple of days to a week of people starting to get back in action. So I'm going to just go ahead and jump in right now, Joe.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man.
All right. Awesome.
And
cool.
By the way, we like to keep this kind of open. Like if everyone kind of save their questions to the end, but I think Jeff, you're probably open if someone has something and wants to comment on something.
Yeah, for sure. I was making an open dialogue, or if there's a point or something that I need to clarify, or you have a question during these thoughts, feel free.
This is kind of like a casual environment, you guys. If you have something for Jeff, please jump in.
Awesome. All right, cool. So, I guess the very first thing is I want to start with you guys, and I want to ask a question. So the very first question, looking at 2021 and looking at overall is, number one is, how big do you want your business to become? How big do you want your business to become? And it really takes some time to just sit there for a minute and think about that. Like some of you have a goal to sell X number of homes this year, earn X number of X income, right? But how really, how big do you really want your business to become? Every one of you have a goal, right? So go ahead and write that down right now. Just write down your goal for the year. Here's the number of homes I want to close, and here's the income I want to make. All right, if we can just do that. Okay. And we're sitting down with agents today, like newer agents, or the agents that are just starting the business. Almost every time I sit down with them, I say, okay, tell me about what your goal is. And almost every time, I want to make 100,000, right? So everyone says 100,000. So when we sit down with them, I say, well, how big do you want your business to be? And they all think that, okay, 100,000. And I said, okay, do me a favor, add a zero. So everybody right now, add a zero. Add a zero to both numbers. So if your goal is to sell 100 homes, add a zero to 1,000. Okay, if your goal is to make 100,000, add a zero, whatever that ends up being. That's $1 million or whatever, right? And so I want you to think about that, as you move throughout the year, is act as if you're that number, right? You have the added zero number into your production and into your income. What would it look like? What's your business look like? How big could it become? And could that happen? Making that happen, all right? Second question I have is, that goes next to this is not only how do you want to figure out how big you want your business to become, but the next one is how disciplined are you? How disciplined are you? Right? That's the whole key in this, is that if I want to have a big business, alongside of that has to become disciplined. And the question is, the highest producing real estate agents that I know, I've been doing this a long time, are the ones that are most disciplined, right? The ones that have actually focused on what is most important and what matters the most, and make them the most productive in any moment. So here's a little exercise I want you to do. This is called the FFE exercise. F as in Frank, F as in Frank, and E as in effort. But this is FFE. And I want you guys to take a look at this, because I want to just kind of come up with a formula so that you can see where you sit currently, all right? And so the very first F stands for focus. Stands for focus, okay? So you have focus is the first F. Now, what I want you to do is give me a percentage based upon either you can either take a look at your last week, you can take the last month, you can take the last year, whatever you think it is for you, or what it is currently right now. Where is your focus on a scale of 1 to 10, or on a percentage, from 1 to 100, right? Like, what would be your focus currently right now? 1 meaning that if you're 1% focused, that's terrible, and 100% you are just laser focused. you're zoned in, you know exactly what you need to do. You are just like so crystal clear on what your activities are, what your past activities are. Like if you were to rate your focus, what percentage do you think your focus is currently? Or what it's been, right? Well, take them that last week. What was my focus last week like? Right? Maybe I was getting back into action, you know, from vacation or being away. I got back my first week. Just take a look overall what your focus is, okay? You guys got that number? And it's going to be a percentage, right? So I'm 60% focused, whatever that may be. Write that number down, all right? The next F stands for faith, okay? Faith. Faith meaning that like my faith in what I do, my confidence in actually what I say, how I say it, that the market knowledge I have, like what is my faith in what I'm doing each day, right? Am I, you know, I don't really know what to say. I'm a little shy, or I don't really know the market statistics, or, you know, my listing presentation, I'm not as confident as I need to be. Like faith or confidence, almost the same thing. Like rate yourself right now on a percentage. What's your confidence in your performance? What's that like? Or your faith that you have in yourself? Okay. Let's go ahead and write that percentage down. Last is the E, and the E stands for effort. So you have FFE. E stands for effort. Okay. Now looking at your production, looking at what you do, looking last week, looking at yesterday, whatever you want to do, ultimately, where would you rate yourself on an effort level? Your daily effort, weekly effort, monthly effort, right? Like literally, really take a look. Let's see what your percentage is on your effort you're putting out. Everybody have their percentage? All right, who wants to volunteer the very first one? So let's take a look at the first one. Give me a number on focus, okay? Anybody? What was your percentage?
I said 80%.
I got two. I got Will at 80%, right? You said 80?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right, and somebody else had another one?
Me, I did 60%.
Okay, so Jennifer's at 60. Okay, understood. Okay, we're gonna do both. We're gonna go ahead and do two of you. Well, actually, I'm gonna call on someone else again, so it really won't be you guys specifically. It'll just be in general. All right, good. So thank you. So 80% is Will's, his focus there. Jennifer's focus is 60. Okay, good. All right. So let's go to confidence or faith. Right? Who wants to give me their confidence or faith? Anybody? It could be Will and Jennifer again, but doesn't matter.
100%.
All right. So you're 100% in what you do. And your faith of what your business is, your confidence, it's through the roof, right? Like you're awesome. Okay, good. All right. Anybody else? What would be their your faith in what you're doing? Anybody want to give a number? Will, damn. All right, good for you, buddy. Okay, good.
What did you say?
90.
Nice.
Confidence 90. This dude's a rock star. I love it.
He is a rock star.
All right, I love it. Okay,
He's
so we
also
got 90% there. All right, so let's go ahead and do the next one. So anybody else, give me what you think your effort is. Effort, your output, what you're doing each day, monthly, weekly, like your effort. What percent?
I did 80.
All right, so Jen, we got 80. Good. Okay.
70.
Okay. Is that Micah?
Yes, Mika.
Okay. Sorry, Mika. Sorry. All right, got it. Okay, cool. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I want you to take your number, all right? So you have 3 percentages, and we have to multiply them. So for example, in this exercise, Will said he was at 80% focus. He was 90% in his confidence and faith. And then Mika said 70%. We'll just add that in. So what it would be is for you guys, just take the percent times the percent times the percent. So an example of the very first one, let me share this with you. What this looks like is it as if this was a person. So we take 80% times 90, 80% times 90% times 70%. That equals a total of 50% on average, 50%. Okay. Now let's take the other one, which actually is Jennifer's, right? So you have 60%, 100% times 80%. Okay. She's at 48%. When you multiply these things against each other, you're going to get a number. So share with me, two of you, share me your number. What's your number you come up with?
50%.
Okay. Did you put 70% down, I guess, as far as your effort?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. So there you go. All right, 50%. All right, good. Who else? We know Jennifer's was 48. Give me somebody else. Give me your percent. Anybody? All right, I'm gonna start calling on you.
I'm 68.
I'm gonna start calling them.
Okay, so Bridget, what do you got?
68.
68. Okay, good. All right, awesome. All right, so here's the deal. So when you guys see your percentage right there, this actually shows you where you are in all three categories overall. And so, for example, Will, the reality is you have 50% left of your potential. 50% left is what's left that's left in the tank, or not in the tank, right? Left in the tank, however you want to call it, that you have that potential to grow. Same with Jen, you're about 50%, right? Bridget, you're at 68. So even though those percentages sound high, when you're firing on all cylinders and all three of these, when you have that focus and you have that confidence and you have that effort, everything in at once is how you're going to get the most production this coming year. Okay. So I want you to look at this. Let's just assume that you were at every one of you at 90% across the board. If I took 90 times 90 times 90, that's only 72%. You're still only 72% of what your potential or what your actual output is in production. So that's why I want you guys to add a zero, because if you can, if they're looking at this year, if you can really ramp up your focus on what you're doing, create the confidence that you can get more confident through your scripts and your skills and what to say and how to say it, and then really put the effort in without distractions and really put the time in the way you need to, all of you are going to see your production go up. This is an exercise that you, your teams, your admin, anybody you have, even if you're a solo agent, think about doing this for yourself. Like, not just maybe once a week, like, once a week, once a month, like check in with yourself and do this exercise. Where am I currently? Because we're all over the place, right? And it could be like, we look at like, Jennifer's, right? So 60% focus, but she's 100% confident, right? And her effort's 80%, but her focus right now was off. So something there is a little bit distracting her, whatever it may be. If she ramped that up, into the 80 or 90, man, just think about where her production level could be for those three things, right? Does that make sense? Any questions on that thought? Any thoughts on that part?
Thank you for that exercise. It actually really is going to help me focus on being more focused, but that was a great exercise. Thank you.
No, thank you. It's cool. I mean, I stole from somebody else, so I'm not a genius here. All right. So everything we all do, I think that's what we do, right? So, but I use it all the time. I think it was brilliant when I first heard it. So I'm ripping this. All right. So let's jump in. Okay. So 10 things, and that was just the beginning. So we're going to start right now. 10 ways to jumpstart your production. All right. So number one, I'm going to go quick. All right. Number one, we need to learn and internalize our pre-qualifying, our listing presentation, and the 10 basic objection handlers. Okay. We must learn and internalize our listing presentation, our pre-qualifying questions and presentation, and the 10 basic objection handlers. Okay. The 10 basic objection handlers, all the same, right? I want to cut your commission. I have a friend in the business. I want to give you a short-term listing. Another agent said they do it for less. What do you do to sell homes? I'm going to try to sell it on my own, right? I want to save the commission myself, right? All those basic objection handlers. We've got to learn the answers. See, if we go back when real estate sales, when people were buying and selling real estate back 50, 60, 80, 100 years ago, back then, it's almost like the sellers got together in 1925 in a room and said, okay, what are the objections going to be to give the realtors? They all gathered up and they wrote them all down, and then it went out, right? And so these objections, what they were 75 years ago and what they are today is exactly the same. There are no new objections. They're all the same. Now, are there conditions? Sure. I don't want to show my home because of COVID. Get it, right? Those are conditions. But real objections, they haven't changed. They're all the same. So if we know what the objections are going to be, we as agents have to go out and learn the answers. You're going to become more productive if you do. So when we're doing this, internalizing and practicing, the way we're going to get better at that, we've got to be role playing a minimum of 2 hours per day. Role play, 2 hours per day, 5 days a week. Okay. We got to put 10 hours in a week. A major portion of your week needs to be practice. Okay. It has to be practice. Who here Here's just a question for you. Who here, give me your favorite NFL quarterback. Anybody? Anybody, doesn't matter.
Just sports.
Derek Jeter.
Quarterback.
I don't think he's a quarterback.
Cam Newton's quarterback. I know that.
Perfect. Derek Jeter, I love it.
I'm a Bears fan, so I'm out.
Tom Brady.
All right, so Tom Brady, right? So we all know who Tom Brady is. So do you guys, anybody can take a guess the average time that a NFL quarterback or Tom Brady actually holds the ball in a game on minimum? Like the ball snapped to him, he holds the ball and then releases it, right, to his receiver. The average time he actually holds the ball during the game, one game combined.
48
What would you say
seconds.
the averages? Averages. How much?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
48
You got Gil?
seconds.
No, that was
48
me.
seconds.
I
Yeah,
said
Jennifer
2
said 2 minutes. Gil, you said 48 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Good. Anybody else? Well, the answer's on average 11 minutes. So, but here's the thing. Do you guys know what an average NFL player or quarterback, what their week looks like leading up to the game as far as how much practice they put in? If you took a guess right now, how much income does Tom Brady earn a year? Just not just in football.
5 million.
I think he's like 80 million, isn't he, on his contract?
Yeah, he's very handsome.
That he is. I'm with you, girl.
He makes a ton of money looking good, doesn't he?
And
So,
more. He makes it
the
look
aver-
easy because he practices so much.
right. So the average NFL player or quarterback probably makes about 25 million without endorsements. And so let's talk about an average NFL quarterback or NFL player, what their practice looks like. Ultimately, if you ask them, they show up at their practice facility, 6:30, 7 in the morning, they have breakfast, they work out. They then start running plays. They start, after that, they come back and they watch video. They study video, they study the players, and then they have lunch, and then they work out again. And then they start reading about whatever it may be, right? Long story short, they're at the practice facility, let's say by 7 o'clock, and out of there by 6 o'clock. They're putting in 11-hour day, right? Every day for 5 days. He practices, say, 60 hours for 11-minute presentation. They make 25 million, and we earn what we earn. The average realtor makes nothing. Okay? There's a direct correlation about how much time you spend in practice. We've got to ramp our practice game up this year more than ever. Okay? If you want to be paid at a high level, what you practice, okay, how often you practice. And by the way, it's all about what you practice in private is how you get paid in public. You don't see Tom Brady's practicing. All you see is him delivering and snapping that ball 11 minutes a game. 25 million. So point number two. Point number two, 10 ways to jumpstart production. Point number two, we've got to call our center of influence. We've got to call our center of influence, SOI, COI, whatever you want to call it, and start looking for immediate referrals. We've got to call our center of influence and start calling them for immediate referrals. And also our center of influence, we've got to put it in an organized fashion, right? We've got to get it organized. What we recommend is if you have a center of influence, we want to break it down in 3 ways, okay? 3 buckets, bucket A, B, and C. Your A bucket is your VIP clients. These are your VIPs. These are your people. These are your boys. Like they are not going anywhere. They're your advocates. They give you referrals. You do repeat referral business with them. They are your VIPs. Okay. Those people, you want to call them once a month. Okay. Number 2, or the second bucket B, is your also good client. They are loyal, but you're not going to get business from them like they would your VIPs. You want to stay in touch with them. You want to touch base with them once a quarter, or call it every 60th business day. Once a quarter, 4 times a year. And then your C bucket is your people that maybe you listed and they sold and they moved out of the area, but staying in touch with them, you want to call them probably twice a year. But we've got to start calling them right now for immediate referrals. Okay, immediately. because they will give you business.
How often do you talk to the not so close clients?
Twice a year. The bucket C. Like,
And
just
Jeff,
staying in touch with them.
the VIPs are the ones you're gonna like have for coffee, go to dinner, like things like that, right? As well, like nurture
Sure.
those relationships.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I want to be in touch with them once a month, right? So let's just assume that you have 1,000 people in your center of influence list. The VIP list is going to be small. There might only be 50 people. The next group might be, 600. The next people might be the other, whatever there's 400 left, right? Like, you're going to have a big group in the in-between that's called four times a year, your Bs, and you're going to have a small group in your As. They're your VIPs. But ultimately, your VIPs could represent 5 to 10% of your database that will give you 80% of your business in your repeat referral business, right? Like, let's identify and get super smart this year and identifying in our database who are those VIP people that we can zone in and say, hey, I can expect one referral from this person every single month, or however many I can expect this year, or how many transactions can I do with this person, right? Not only center of influence, I want you to think about also agent to agent referrals. Do you have a center of influence or agent referral base where you can send agent referrals as well? I have agents to send us referrals. I know probably a couple agents send two or three or four every year. Like they just always send us, right? All the time. Okay, they're your VIPs as well. All right, point number three. We've got to start really lead generating 3 hours a day. 3 hours a day, every day, 5 days a week. Okay, we've got to put the time in. Okay, 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, 15 hours of your week must be spent. That's the top 20% of your activities. Okay, got to prospect. We've got to be calling our center of influence. We got to be making those calls to old expireds, the new expireds, the for sale by owners, right? We've got to start also door knocking if we're not actually out there, if we can't get a hold of people. Okay. The just listed and just sold calls, calling around circle prospecting, right? Huge right now because the neighbors see what things are selling for and they're curious. They want to know what is going on. Okay. They're surprised. Okay. Point number 4, at the end of each day, if you don't have any appointments, if you have 0 appointments for the day, you've prospected, you lead generate, you did everything you're supposed to do, but you have no appointments to go on, put in your calendar to go visit 2 for sale by owners and 2 expireds. Okay, 2 old expireds, new expireds, whatever it may be. If you don't have any appointments, map it out on your way home. If you're working from home, get out of your home, go visit 2 expireds, 2 for sale by owners every day. No appointments, that's my job. Okay. Point number 5, in the next, basically 30 days to jumpstart your production. Some of you can do more, some of you do less. Either way, what we recommend is go on a minimum of 6 appointments. 6 appointments in the next 30 days. And out of those 6, 4 contracts signed. Okay?
Say that again, Jeff.
Go on minimum of 6 appointments within the next 30 days and convert into the 4 contracts being signed.
That's number 5, right?
That's number 4. Number 5. Yes, number 5.
And what was 3? I'm just taking notes over here.
3 was prospect 3 hours a day,
Got it. I heard
5 days a week, right? Calling expires, center of influence, just listed, or door knocking, right?
Yeah.
Number 6, we got to remember again that we've got to keep our mind focused 100% right now. And we need to concentrate on these 3 words. And if you were to walk in my office, you'll see these 3 words in front of everyone's desks, right? And their stations. And the 3 words basically are attitude, approach, and expectations. We need to check in on ourselves every day, each hour. Like, how am I right now? What's my attitude about right now? Is it good? Is it bad? I had something happen at home before I came to work, or did something happen? Like, where's my attitude of what's going on? Is it positive? Is it negative? Right? How do I feel about this? Attitude. Number 2 is approach. What's my approach right now? What's my approach in converting this lead or this appointment? Okay. And lastly, what's my expectations? Right? I'm on the phone. I'm calling the expired. What's my attitude going to be? What's my approach going to be? What's my expectations of the outcome of this call? Really set the intentions for this. My expectation is I'm getting an appointment. I'm not getting off the phone. Either the guy's going to tell me to go F off and hang up on me, or I'm getting an appointment. That is my approach, and that's my expectation. And my attitude is that there's not a better realtor out there in the world than me. And if this guy doesn't hire me or set an appointment, he's making the worst mistake in his life. That's my attitude, right? If I come out like that out of the gate and call these clients, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to set some appointments. I'm determined, okay? Or they're going to hang up on me. Either one's okay. But let me tell you something. If I have a strong attitude, right? Very positive approach, and I have the expectations that we're going to do it. I'm going to get this listing. I'm going to get it. All right. We need to consider doing that because we can, one thing in our day can throw us off on our attitude really quick. Okay. So let's focus on that. All right. Point number 7. Point number 7, right now, jumpstart your production. Add 1 hour a day to your schedule for lead follow-up. Okay. Create a simple lead follow-up system, a simple lead follow-up system. All right. What we do, and I'll show you here. Let me show you my fancy lead follow-up system. You ready for this? This is called my CRM. It's a folder. It's a manila folder, super sexy, right? And inside here are lead sheets. There's probably, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 of them. They're my hottest leads. This is my 7-day folder. Who's in here is going to get a contract signed within the next 7 days. These people need to get in here. I need to get them signed, and I need to get them out of here. That's all this is. This is my lead folder. Okay, very simple. And there's not a lot in there, 6 or 7. For you, it could be 1 or 2. It could be 10 of them, either way. But the leads that are in there, you have to convert them within the next 7 days, right? Clarity. This goes wherever I go. I carry it with me, right? Yes. Do I have them in a CRM with an email address and getting dripped on and getting sold searches and all that stuff? I have it. But otherwise, I just keep my folder. This is just tax record information, okay? And inside here is, I have the client's, you see it, name and email address. And behind that, I'll have their information from our database. Behind that, I'll have an old MLS brochure, if it's an old MLS brochure, whatever that may be. Any other documents I need. This one's actually a flip. So I have the P&L statement of the flip, right? Trying to get this to buy it, fix it, and flip it. My goal this week is to get this deal under contract, okay? Right? 7-day folder. Then I have a simple 30-day folder. 30-day folder. Those that I can convert, maybe not in the 7 days, but in this month, these are my other follow-ups, right? That's it. Some of you might want to use 5 by 8 cards, whatever. That's what I use. But you need a simple system, okay? And you need to get very clear on who your follow-up is. And you need to review those leads. And your simple system of your follow-up, you know, if you have a 7-day lead right now, someone who's super hot and you can convert in the next 7 days, you should probably talk to them almost every day. Every day, okay? Until you're gonna convert them, okay? All right, but add one more hour to your day for lead follow-up, super important. At the end of the day, here's a couple of things I want you to think about, okay? Point number 8, at the end of each day, answer these 3 questions, okay? Answer these 3 questions to be most productive. A, what did I do well? What did I do well? B, what do I need to improve upon? What do I need to improve upon? Okay. And C, what is the most important thing I learned this week? Okay. What is the most important thing I learned this week? Check in with yourself, end of the day. Answer those thoughts. Okay, point number 9, expand your methods of prospecting and make right now, especially the next 30 days, a minimum of 40 good quality contacts per day. 40 good quality contacts per day. Okay. Now, when I say quality contacts, I'm talking about like having a conversation with a decision maker. You're not calling up and speaking with Johnny, the 8-year-old son, on the phone, and he answers the phone and mommy's not home. And then you try to prospect Johnny. He's not a qualified person to talk to. We're not writing that down as a contact. We want to contact people that are decision makers. All right. 40 a day. Okay. Now, to jumpstart our production for next year, I'm going to say that that's conversations of 40 a day. But I would say that right now we're recommending you have 100 attempts of conversation per day, 100, mixed with text messaging, emailing, voice broadcasting like slide dial, Facebook Messenger, door knocking, any other way you can also get out there to have a conversation, right? But right now, the key is the output you put out, get to 100 out a day, 40 conversations, and the rest of it, 25 texts, 25 emails or 10 emails, 10 door knocks. Maybe you're going to do 10 DMs on Facebook Messenger, whatever it may be. Put it out there, get to 100 a day. Because we know that if you get to 100 a day and you're 40 conversations, you really should be able to at least generate 4 or 5 leads. And out of that, generate 1 or 2 appointments a day. And think about your business now. If you generated every single day 1 appointment, 5 appointments right now a day, or excuse me, a week, 1 appointment a week, 1 appointment a day, 5 a week, 20 a month. Okay. What would your business look like? If you had 20 appointments a month and you went on 12 appointments, that's 240 appointments a year. And out of those appointments, some of you guys are so good at your skills. Look, at 50%, you're at 120 transactions. At 70%, you're at, I don't even know what that is. But
if you go on 110, let's say you go on 10 appointments, what's your conversion rate? Would you expect?
Ours is about 80 right now, about 75 to 80%.
Okay.
Pretty high. A good range.
Jeff, can I just ask what the percentage of your business, dude? What percentage of it is like past client sphere of influence versus like? Will you just break that down for us? Is that
Sure. Yeah. So our business runs. So there's a few things. So it's about 65% between past clients, centers of influence, and referrals from that group, and agent-to-agent referrals. So if you say all referrals, that's 65. If I break down just past client and center of influence alone from repeat business and doing that right there, and that's about 50, and then referrals are on top of that, about 65%. Does that make sense? And then we have in there expireds around 23%, and then the buyer business too, from internet leads and things.
Perfect. Thank you for breaking that down.
Yeah. So repeat referral business for us is high. I think but center of influence repeat referral is about 50.
If you had to
referrals.
If you had to guesstimate, if all those if there was 10 expired appointments, do you know the conversion rate on those?
Directly on that source,
Ballpark.
it's probably 75.
Okay.
And why? And that's overall because we have a lot of expires, but I mean, we can convert at that level. I want it to be higher, just because we pre-qualify at a very, very, very hard and high level. Like myself, or if I'm going on an appointment, or our agents, we're going to find out on expired everything possible, and we almost don't even look at it as a pre-qual. We look at it as a disqual. What I mean by that is we're almost saying, okay, well, if they're not qualified to work with us, we're going to disqualify them and not work with them, between their motivation, what they're doing, whatever it may be. So if I'm going on an appointment on an expired and I ask a question, are you planning on interviewing another agent for the job? And they say, yeah, I'm interviewing 3 of them. I'm going to find out as much as possible about all those 3, when they're going to be interviewed, who they're interviewing, what's important to them about the other agents, what do they already know, and really position myself in front to that seller to make sure that they ask certain questions to that agent. And I'm also going to be last in. right? And I'm positioning myself to get them to agree not to sign a contract until we meet. Regardless of what the other agent says, let's come to an agreement right now that you will not sign a contract with them
Can I
until
ask
we meet. Yeah,
why?
sure.
Why do you
Why?
want to be the last one in? Because I've always been taught be the first or the second.
Well,
Why
I'll tell you
do
this.
have to be last?
Well, okay, so I believe being last in because I'm going to position myself that I'm going to let them know that they're not going to sign with any other agent until they see me. That's my move. My move is I understand you're going to meet with Bridget, and she's a terrific agent. And yet, before you sign a contract, would you make a promise to me that you will not sign with her till you see my marketing plan? And I show you how I'm going to net you more money than Bridget or any other agent. Because of our track record and how we're going to position your home, I'm going to net you up to 7% more than she will. You could use an extra 30,000, right? Okay, good. That's exactly why when I meet with you at 5 o'clock, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. So you can go ahead and list with Bridget, but you're probably going to cost yourself 30 G's. Or you can meet with me and then you can decide later. Right? That's what I'm going to do. Like, if I'm going in first, the challenge is, so let me ask you, how often do you get it when you're first or second? Or do they say, I appreciate what you're saying. It sounds good. I'm meeting with somebody else at 4 o'clock. Let me get back to you and I'll call you.
I go in last as well. I agree with the being last, not first.
That's just me. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just my experience, right? Because I hate when I go on, because here's what happens to me. If I'm first or second and they're meeting with 3 or 4 after me, see, what happens to me is this. I'm going for that appointment. Either two things are going to happen in that appointment. I'm going to get it signed or I'll never get it signed because they're going to kick me out of their house. Like when I go on a listing appointment, it's all in. There is no second round. I'm not coming back. You follow me? Like that's my mindset. I'm determined. If I'm going on an appointment, I'm going in there, right? I'm going to close them as much as possible to get them signed right then. And I'm going to say to them, Mr. Seller, I appreciate you got Bridget coming at 4. And, you certainly want an agent right now that can help you make decisions. And you certainly want an agent to help a buyer make a decision to buy your home, correct? Well, yeah. So if a buyer was interested in buying your home, you'd want your agent to ask them to buy it, correct? And make an offer. You want that, right? Yeah, good. Well, then I'm going to ask you to go ahead and sign with me, just like I would get a buyer to ask to sign with me. So let's go ahead right now, do the right thing, sign the contract with me. I'll call Bridget, let her know that you listed with me and give her first shot to be able to bring her buyers. Okay, would that be okay? You feel I can sell your home? Well, yeah, I think you're pretty good. Great, then sign it, put me to work. Well, you seem like you're too pushy. You're right, I am. Like I'm going to be that. I'm going to be like that. That's just me. Now, have I gotten kicked out of the house before? Yeah. Sure. You're too pushy. You're too aggressive. Listen, I understand, but I'm not coming back. What do you want to do? Hire me now and I'm going to get you top dollar because you have a choice. You can hire a bulldog or you can hire a poodle. Who do you want to represent your equity? You want the poodle? Bridget's your girl. You follow me? Like, that's me. I'm from South Jersey, I guess. Actually, Oz is from North Jersey. He gets it. So anyway,
Jeff,
anyway.
Can I ask you, man, what I love what you just said. You're like, actually, they're not qualifying questions. They're unqualifying questions. I'm unqualifying them from working with me. What is like the top 2, man? Like, what is like, dude, we're not going to this house, man. Because like if I can tell, I'm going to tell myself, I'm going to tell on our team. Like what we do is especially Will, right? So Will and I discovered last week, the dude can set an appointment, man. Like people don't hang up. Like he gets people on the ropes, dude. Like Will set an appointment, right? But what we do is like, I think like Will's been with us for a few months now and he's great. He's from the world of like making calls, but we've been going to some appointments where people just aren't there. They're not showing up. They're like, we're not qualifying them or unqualifying them. So what any advice you can give us there? Like, because we don't. It's okay now, but like in 2 months, the lead listing agent's gonna come back to the office and throw something at Will's head if there's no shows.
Sure. So you want to role play it out? Would it be helpful?
Yeah, with Will. Yeah, Will. Role play it out with.
So Will, so tell me what they're saying, and then so well, let me ask you. I'll be the agent.
No, Will's setting the appointments. You just said like you're asking questions to unqualified. We're setting appointments and they're turning out to be unqualified appointments because when we get to the house, the seller's not there.
So the very first question, the pre-qual question is, if it's a seller, I'm going to say, hey, Mr. Seller, before I come out, there's a couple of questions I need to ask you. May I ask you now? And they say, sure. Number one is if what I say makes sense and you feel comfortable and confident that I can sell your home, or in this case, comfortable and confident that our agent Joe, right, it can sell your home. Are you planning to list with Joe when he sees you Tuesday at 4? Okay. Now this is going to.
No, we're still thinking about it, but like, you can come see the house if you'd like, but I'm not sure what we're going to do like right away, but we are going to list our house in the spring.
Okay, good. So ultimately you still want to sell your home. You just may not be ready right now to go ahead and get it on the market or listed. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can come see it, but I'm probably not going to sign anything.
Okay. And let me ask you a question. If I could sell your home though, in the next 2 weeks or 30 days, net you the price you're looking for, ultimately you walk away with what you want, close in the spring because that's your time frame. Would that pose a problem?
Yeah, that's what we're not asking. Pretty simple, right? Yeah, 100%. Like, so we get really excited. Like I'm telling on us, by the way, like we're an open book, right? We're like, oh, you want to sell your house next year? Can we come over? We're so great. Once you meet us, you're going to think we're the best and you have to sign paperwork. And that's, I think, where we're falling short. We're just going to so many damn appointments and we're just not asking. We're not interrogating reality, right?
Yeah, I'm going to ask him. I mean, if that that doesn't sound like the seller's motivated. However, I'm going to go back and ask him that ultimately, I appreciate you want to sell in the spring, but let me ask you if I could still get you the price you want, net you what you want, but closings in April, would you still sell now?
It's just about motivation, right? They're like, no, we have a life event, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be in April.
Let's role play it. So okay.
Yeah, and you know what, man? We definitely want to sell. We need to, I have coronavirus and I have to like go to the moon and I'm not going to be back from the moon until March. But when I do get back from the moon, I 100%, because I'm not going to be on Earth, I am going to sell then.
I can appreciate that. So it sounds like to me that the month of March is important, or at least when you're going to make a decision and get it on the market. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, good. And let's just say for some reason I was able to bring you a buyer today, maybe even create a bidding war for your home, get you more than what you actually expect, and close in March. Would you consider selling it now if everything lined up, stars and the moon you're coming from, everything was perfect?
But I'm not going to be in New Jersey at that time. So I don't know how I would get that done.
Yeah, it's no problem. We sell virtually all day, all the time. In fact, if you decide, or when we come over and look at your home, we can basically do a Matterport video for you and a video of the inside of the house where you don't have to be there, and we show it to buyers virtually anyway. But ultimately, if I had the right price today and you negotiate a deal with a closing in March, would that pose a problem?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, good. I mean, you do want to get top dollar for it, correct?
Correct.
All right, good. So Joe, let's go ahead and do this. Let me come over and I'll show you how I'm going to get you your price now. And then we can just negotiate a closing for March or April. What's the best time for you?
Come over. You can show me your presentation, but I'm not going to be signing anything today.
Yeah, no problem. Then maybe I won't come over right now. I'll just go ahead and email you everything and then you can review it that way. But either way, and I'm just curious, again, you had said that if I could get you your price now and close then, what would be stopping you from going ahead and getting on the market now?
I don't know what to say. I think that I should probably list my house with you, Jeff.
I think so. No, so a few things I'm going to do right now.
So easy.
In the pre-qual, I'm going to ask them ultimately, are they planning on interviewing another agent? Are they planning on, when I come over, are you planning to list with Joe, or in this case, Will's going to, he's going to set up for another agent? Are you planning to go ahead and list with Tony, when he comes and sees you Tuesday at 4? And if they say, well, I'm not really sure I'm interviewing other agents, then I'm going to go into that pre-qual even more. Okay, perfect. You are interviewing other agents and that sounds good. And may I ask when you are? I'm interviewing Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, perfect. And I might ask some other deeper questions. So let me ask you, what's most important about the agent you choose? Well, I'm looking for somebody that has a good track record, or they have an open house plan. Perfect. So let me ask you this question. When Tony comes over on Tuesday at 4, and if he shows you an incredible open house plan, and he shows you his track record, and you are 100% convinced that he has a way to sell your home for top dollar, would you be ready to go ahead and hire him and list with him Tuesday at 4?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, good. So then let's go ahead and Tuesday at 4, because he's going to come out and we're going to get this done for you. And I feel very confident he's going to show you a marketing plan that works. And then what we'll do is we'll just cancel those other appointments for Thursday and Friday. Fair enough?
Cool. Will you call the other realtors? Because I'm scared.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid of them. One of them is like my cousin, and he's probably not going to come to Christmas. But would you call him? And because I don't want to.
Absolutely. I'm an expert at that. Do it all the time.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. That was fun.
Yeah. So basically that's it, because we covered a couple other things. Point number 10 was just about, making sure that you really ramp up your game as far as your output, right? And make sure you're emailing, texting, voice broadcasting your leads, following up, doing all that. And what we're finding right now, just a couple of things, is text messaging is huge right now for us. 97% of people will respond on text, or at least get them, right? Whereas about 13% are responding from email. So if you're not texting your database, texting your leads, texting, you're missing it, right? Texting is big. So loading up right now, let's say 100 expireds in the last 6 months that haven't relisted, and send them a crafted little text, you're going to get responses and convert.
Do you have a tool for that, with technology, or is it like a hand? You just do it one by one.
So we use a couple of things. One is you can do it by hand, right? By your iPhone, you can load up and you can do it, mass text that way, like blind copy them. You can do that. You can use any CRM that you guys have. We use Real Geeks, and we text directly from there, and that inserts the first name. And then we also use Contact Junkie. And Contact Junkie is a multiple channel where we email, text, and voice broadcast with different campaigns that are dripped out. So, we are generating right now probably an additional 50 contacts a day with responses direct from that, from Contact Junkie.
Cool. We have about 7 minutes left here. I'm gonna ping you about the slide dial stuff, man. You told me about that 3 years ago. I still haven't implemented it.
Yeah, we crush it on that.
Yeah, for sure, man. Guys, Jeff, thanks for being here, man. We usually end 5 minutes early. I'm going to open it up for some questions, and I'm going to start. Actually, I'm going to ask for 2 ahas. Will Hickey, give us an aha.
Yeah, for sure. Number 6 stuck out huge. Attitude, approach, expectations, and checking in hourly. For me, I make a ton of phone calls, and I've been doing it a while, but it is. You do get beat up. And so there are calls that suck, and thinking about the attitude before every call really stuck out to me, because if you do go in with the right attitude, at least with me, if I go in with the right attitude, there's a really, really good chance I'm setting the appointment. If I go in with a slight attitude of I don't want to make this call, that last call sucked, I'm not getting that appointment. So that one stuck out big time for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. One of the things you guys want to, for someone like yourself, think about doing 50 on, 10 minutes off. To go 50 straight, take a 10-minute break, get up, stretch, get a glass of water, whatever, go outside, just get your mind, get away, step away, walk around, get some fresh air, whatever it may be, and come back. You'll feel that 10 minutes revived, right? And then hit it again.
That's a good point. Appreciate that.
So yeah, Will has trouble too, because on the phone you can't see how good looking he is. He would set more appointments if he could see his beautiful face, right? And someone,
Yes,
do some video text.
dude. Joe Keating, do you have an aha that you'd like to share?
Hi guys. So everything's an aha for me because I don't do this yet, but at the end, I will mention that when you talked about the mass texting, I actually do that now with what I do. So that was an aha that you use it. And I use one called Hit 'em Up. So it's an app.
Nice. Hit 'em up.
Hit him up. That's awesome. Anyone else want to share?
Put the first name in there so it does look personal.
Great, I didn't know about that.
I did
Perfect.
want to
Good job.
share one of my ahas that I thought was really cool. It's at the end of each day, what did I do well? What do I need to improve? What is the most important thing I learned this week? I know that at the end of the day, go over everything I didn't do or what I did wrong. But I never reflect on what I actually did well and, really thinking about what I learned at the end of the day or at the end of the week. So I like that. It definitely brings a little bit more, positivity to the day.
That's awesome. Reflections are huge, right? I can connect the dots to like failure, right? I can my family be living under a bridge in like a week. I can put that together real quickly, but the positive stuff like different, right? That's funny. Anyone else want to share an aha?
Yeah, I'd like to share. I really like that line you use when people tell you they're not ready till the spring, because if they tell me that, I'll jump on that lead button. Like, great, I'll call you, in a couple months. And I'm excited. I got a follow up. But you use the line saying, so let me get this right. If I could bring you, if I could sell your house in 2 weeks or 30 days for the price you want, and we could close in the spring because that's your timeline. I think that's going to be a game changer. I really like that. Can't wait to try it.
Yeah, it's just it's a subtle close, Ultimately, if I could bring you your net you're looking for now, get your home sold, close in the spring, would that pose a problem? Right? Well, if you do that now, it'd be great.
Yeah, because I feel like if they say no to that, then they're not actually motivated to sell because
Right.
it's like,
Well, what they're going to say is, well, Thomas, they're going to say well, it would pose a problem because, my in-laws are living with me and I can't show the house while they're here. Well, again, at that point, it's more of a condition of something that they've got you can't control. Right. But ultimately, if they're motivated, see, in that circumstance, when someone says, I want to wait till the spring, most of the time what they're thinking is, no one's buying a house right now in dead winter. Spring's the best time to sell, and it's going to be busier. Right. So we just have to put back that things are still selling right now and show them that we can get their highest and best price now. And, if I was to go into it more, they're going to say, well, what makes you think you can sell it now versus March? Well, Mr. Seller, you know about supply and demand, correct? Well, yeah. Well, right now we're their lowest inventory we ever have been, therefore getting you more money than you're ever going to get. If you wait till the spring, inventory rises. So you do want to get the most for the property, correct? Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to get it when the inventory is low and there's no competition. Otherwise, you're going to come on the market in March and help sell your competition. Let's go ahead and consider getting on the market now. And I'll show you how we're going to get you more versus later. Now we just go into that,
That's awesome.
Something like that. Yeah, but that's how it's practice. Remember point number one was what? Learn, internalize, pre-qual, and practice 2 hours a day, right? 2 hours a day. The only way you're going to get good at this is practice that. Practice those objections. Okay.
I learned that Derek Jeter's not a quarterback, and that just the stats behind those the numbers that like the 11 minutes versus 60 hours is I kind of know that it's something like that, but to put a fine point on it like that is really cool.
I say the same thing, like, what's your favorite actor or actress, right? People say, oh, it's Jennifer Aniston or The Rock or whatever, right? Mark Wahlberg. Well, for them to be paid $20-25 million a film, they just don't show up on the set and wing it, right? They have a script. They have to memorize it. They have to internalize it. They have to deliver. And then they're going to retake sometimes and shoot that scene 10 times, or maybe it's 50 times in a day for literally a 20-second thing until they nail it, right? So most people today, or most professions where you get paid a ton of money, they're practicing all the time, right? They've honed their craft, and that's what we need to do, is put that time in. And what you practice in private is how you get paid in public. No one sees that shit.
Cool. Well, Jeff, thanks, man. I'm going to wrap this up. We're here. It's 10 o'clock, dude. Thank you so much, man. I posted the 10 ways to jumpstart your production. I posted my notes in the chat if anyone wants to grab that real quick. It looks like this is going to be recorded as well. It'll be on our YouTube channel. And I just wanted to share with everyone. I want to thank everyone for joining in. Our trainings are always open to anyone. Next week, actually, we're doing a private training at the same time, our real estate team is going to be doing a private training led by Gil Olson. Gil's going to be going over the vision for our organization. It's a closed team training, but if you're on these calls and you're in our world and we're friends, just reach out. If it's something you'd like to shadow or check out, I talked to Gil. Gil said it would be okay, but Gil's just going over the vision for our real estate team, where we're going. He's talking about this year, next year, 5 years from now, and the big picture, our organizational chart, things like that. So if that's something you're interested in, just reach out to me separately and we'll get you guys that link. But Jeff, I got to thank you so much, man. That was really awesome. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's an honor to be
Thank you,
here.
Jeff.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Gil. All right,
Bye,
thanks, Joe. See you guys. Bye.